Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah and how it shaped policy. This will read like a professional news analysis. Pakistan's historic refusal to recognize Israel, Jinnah's legacy and modern realities. Since its independence in 1947, Pakistan has stood firm on one of the most enduring foreign policy positions in the Muslim world, the refusal to recognize Israel as a legitimate state. The roots of this stance trace back to Pakistan's founder, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, who is reported to have declared that Israel was an artificial entity imposed on the heart of the Muslim world. This early vision set the tone for decades of policy, shaping Pakistan's diplomatic, religious, and strategic posture in international affairs. As debates over Middle East peace, normalization, and shifting alliances continue to dominate headlines, Pakistan's position remains both significant and symbolic. To understand why Islamabad has never extended recognition to Tel Aviv, it is essential to explore the history, ideology, and geopolitical realities behind this stance. Jinnah's early stance. Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, revered as the founding father of Pakistan, viewed the Palestinian struggle as integral to the Muslim world's collective identity. In the late 1940s, as the United Nations voted for the partition of Palestine and the subsequent creation of Israel, Jinnah reportedly described the new state as a colonial imposition that disregarded the rights of Palestinians. For Jinnah and his contemporaries, the issue was not only political but also deeply moral and religious. Palestine was home to Al-Aqsa Mosque, the third holiest site in Islam, and its displacement of Arabs was seen as an attack on Muslim dignity. Thus, Pakistan's refusal to accept Israel was embedded in the ideological foundation of the new state. Pakistan's official policy. From 1947 until today, Pakistan has consistently refused to recognize Israel. The Pakistani passport itself reflects this stance, historically bearing the words, "valid for all countries of the world except Israel." This policy has been reaffirmed by successive governments, military and civilian alike, regardless of changing political dynamics at home. The central argument has been clear: Pakistan will only consider normalization with Israel once a just solution is reached for the Palestinians, in line with United Nations resolutions and the aspirations of the Palestinian people. The religious and public dimension. Public opinion in Pakistan has always strongly opposed recognition of Israel. For many Pakistanis, the issue is not only a question of foreign policy but also of faith and identity. Demonstrations in support of Palestinians have been common across Pakistani cities, and political parties of all ideological backgrounds, from secular to religious, have aligned on this point. The cause of Palestine has often been framed as part of the wider struggle of the Muslim Ummah. This sentiment was further strengthened after wars between Israel and Arab states in 1948, 1967, and 1973, when Pakistan openly supported Arab nations. Pakistani pilots even flew missions in defense of Arab countries during these conflicts. Strategic considerations. Beyond ideology, Pakistan's refusal to recognize Israel has also been shaped by strategic factors. Pakistan has historically aligned itself with the Arab world, both for religious solidarity and for practical reasons such as oil imports and financial support. By rejecting Israel, Pakistan has strengthened its ties with countries like Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, and other members of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, OIC. At the same time, Pakistan's position has been influenced by its rivalry with India. Israel and India have enjoyed close military and intelligence ties for decades, particularly in defense technology. Pakistan, viewing India as its primary adversary, has seen Israel as indirectly aligned against its own interests. Israel's perspective. From the Israeli viewpoint, Pakistan's stance is seen as part of a broader refusal by Muslim-majority countries to accept its legitimacy. Israeli officials have occasionally expressed interest in engaging with Pakistan, highlighting shared security concerns, especially regarding terrorism. However, they have also recognized the domestic and ideological barriers preventing Pakistan from shifting its policy. The global shifts, Abraham Accords. The debate around Pakistan's stance intensified in recent years after the signing of the Abraham Accords, under which several Arab states, including the UAE, Bahrain, Morocco, and Sudan, normalized relations with Israel. These agreements signaled a significant shift in Middle Eastern politics, with countries prioritizing economic cooperation and security ties with Israel over the long-standing Palestinian issue. This development put Pakistan in the global spotlight. Analysts and observers speculated whether Pakistan would follow suit, given its dependence on Gulf allies. However, Pakistani leaders, including former Prime Minister Imran Khan, repeatedly clarified that Islamabad's position would not change unless Palestinians achieved their rights. Challenges and pressures. While Pakistan's policy remains consistent, it faces increasing pressure. Western nations, particularly the United States, have often encouraged Muslim countries to normalize relations with Israel as part of a broader peace framework. Economic incentives and promises of stronger alliances have been used as leverage. Domestically, Pakistan also grapples with economic challenges, and some policymakers quietly argue that engagement with Israel could bring technological, agricultural, and defense benefits. Still, the fear of public backlash and the deep-rooted ideological commitment to the Palestinian cause have kept the policy unchanged. Palestine and Pakistan today. For Pakistan, the Palestinian issue continues to resonate deeply. Each new escalation in Gaza or the West Bank sparks widespread protests and renewed calls for solidarity. Pakistani diplomats remain vocal at the United Nations and the OIC, consistently condemning Israeli actions and advocating for Palestinian statehood. In speeches, Pakistani leaders often evoke Jinnah's vision, framing their policy as a continuation of the founder's legacy. This moral and historical dimension reinforces the notion that recognizing Israel would not only betray Palestinians but also contradict Pakistan's identity as a homeland for Muslims. The road ahead. As the Middle East undergoes transformations, the question of Pakistan's stance toward Israel will remain relevant. While some analysts predict that future governments may eventually be compelled to reconsider in light of geopolitical realities, others believe the policy is too deeply embedded in Pakistan's national identity to change. The ongoing conflict in Gaza, rising tensions in the region, and shifting global alliances ensure that the debate will continue. Yet, for now, Pakistan stands firm, upholding a position rooted in its founding years and symbolized by Jinnah's uncompromising words. Conclusion. The refusal of Pakistan to recognize Israel is more than just a diplomatic choice, it is a defining element of its foreign policy and national identity. Guided by Jinnah's vision and reinforced by decades of political consensus, Pakistan has positioned itself as a steadfast supporter of Palestine. Whether this stance will endure in the face of changing global realities remains an open question. But for millions of Pakistanis, and for their leaders, the principle remains clear: until Palestinians achieve their right to statehood, Israel will remain unrecognized in Islamabad.